Gaza is facing a catastrophic hunger crisis of unprecedented proportions, and everyone on besieged coastline will face acute food insecurity in the coming weeks, according to UN. At the same time, hopes for a temporary pause in hostilities to allow for a new prisoner exchange have also faded, with Hamas refusing to hold talks until Israel halts its military offensive on Gaza. On Thursday night, United States said it could support an amended version of a UN resolution aimed at increasing the flow of aid to Gaza only after call for an immediate suspension hostilities was removed. The vote on amended resolution was postponed until Friday, and it has not been confirmed that the other 14 council members, primarily from Russia, will vote on amended version. Amid continued alarm over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, the UN has declared catastrophic hunger levels, with thousands of people at risk of starvation. A report by the UN and food security agencies said 4 out of 5 households in Gaza's north and half of those displaced in the south went days without food. Action Against Hunger Emergency Manager Noelia Monge said, "Everything we do is not enough to meet the needs of 2 million people. Flour, rice are hard to find and people have to wait hours reach the toilet wash themselves. We are experiencing an emergency like we have never seen before," he said. The UN's hunger monitoring system, Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, said in a report that the most likely scenario in Gaza would be for the entire population of Gaza Strip, about 2.2 million people now by February 7, published crisis or worse, hunger levels. This is highest share of people facing high levels of acute food insecurity that the IPC initiative has ever classified for any region or country, report said. The IPC has warned that by February 7, around 50% of the population is predicted to be in the emergency phase, defined as a very high rate of acute malnutrition and excess mortality. The IPC has a 5-stage system for assessing food crises, and its report states that at least 1 in 4 households in Gaza, or more than 500,000 people, will face Stage 5 disaster conditions. Although acute malnutrition and non-traumatic death rates have not yet exceeded famine threshold, they are often the consequences of long-term and excessive food consumption deficits. Report said. At a time when nearly 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced, an Israeli military offensive triggered by a surprise attack Hamas, the threats of hunger, disease and exposure further increase as winter approaches. It was stated that the declaration represented the Palestinian national decision. Approximately 120 Israelis are currently held by Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza. More than 100 people were released in an earlier agreement that also saw the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and a temporary halt to fighting. Qatar-based Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh traveled Cairo